Valley Glassworks, a new game from Allplay that is all about grabbing glass pieces from the river to fill in your board to score your rows and your columns as you take on the role of an anthropomorphic animal proprietor. So far we have unboxed it, we have taught it, and we have soloed it. All those links will be down below. Now it is time to see how I think it go. Here we are set up for a play of Valley Glassworks. You are going to have the river in front of you. You are going to put 5 pieces of glass from the bag into the river. You are going to be drawing 3 out for your starting board. 1, 2, and 3. Each person is going to choose a player board with a character, grabbing their little meeple guy and putting it on 0. You're going to be choosing a first player. You're going to be putting out these river pieces and then putting pieces of glass on them equal to these pebbles right there. So this is 2. So we're going to go right there. And then you are ready to begin. On your turn, you're going to do one of 2 things. You are either going to put a piece of glass into the river and take glass, or you are going to be taking glass from the end of the river in the little lake thing. When you go ahead to take pieces of glass from the river, you can either take a piece, place it on the corresponding shaped tile, and then take the pieces of glass from either side of that tile, or you can use 2 pieces of the same shape as a wild, and these then you can put on any piece and take the pieces from one of the adjacent tiles. But let's go, we're going to put this one here. We're going to take these 2 pieces of glass. You are now going to place these on your board. If it is a color that is brand new to your board, you are going to place it in the leftmost empty column. You can choose the order with which you want to place these. So we'll go ahead and place them like that. You will then take this piece, shove these down this way, put this back here at the end, and then refill it, denoted by the pebbles. So again, this one would be 2 pieces. So then your opponent will go, and it'll come back to you, and let's say we want to put this piece right here, and we will take these. So again, brand new colors, you place them how you want, like so. This would normally flow, it's already there, so you just put 2 new pieces on there. And that brings us to the second thing you can do, and that's take pieces from the lake. So I have 1 piece left, so I'm going to take pieces from the lake. When you take pieces from the lake, you take exactly 4. No more, no less. You can go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Put them in your pan. You then refill this until there's 5 again. Your pan can never hold more than 5. If you ever grab more than 5, you're going to put the excess here into your overflow. That'll be negative points at the end of the game. Same thing with your rows and columns. If you need to put in the 8th color, there's 2, 4, 6, 7. If you need to put in the 8th color and you can't, it goes into the overflow. If your column is full and you grab some, it goes into your overflow. So let me give you one more example of what can happen. We can say go ahead and place this here. We'll take these 2, we will place these here, and we'll grab these 3 pieces. So now looking at this, 2 of these I already have, so I will just continue them up, and then this one going right there. I forgot to mention, as you are collecting pieces, you are going to move your little guy over to let him know how many are in your inventory. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he should have been at 7. You'll be going back and forth, taking turns until someone has 17 pieces of glass in their board. Once someone has reached 17, you are going to look, and everyone who has less than 3 pieces of glass in their pan will draw until they have 3 pieces. You are then going to finish out the current round. Everyone's going to take one more turn, and then you are going to get into scoring. I will bring the board up for scoring. So when you score, you are going to score for completed rows until you have a gap. So right now, this row would score for 11, and then I'd score nothing here because there is this gap. If my board looked like this, I would score 11 for the row. I would score this row up to this part too, because there is a gap. And then this one would be 1, so that'd be 1, 3, 14 points for my rows. You are going to score your highest 2 columns. If there is a tie, it's your column to the leftmost. So let me get a board set up. So now this could be an example of a board. So again, your rows, you'd have 22 points for this row, 7 for this one, and then only 1 for that one still. When you're looking at your columns, this is your tallest column, so you are going to be scoring 20 points for this one. You're then going to look at your second highest. It is a tie between the blue and the white. You're going to score the blue because it's the furthest left, so you're only going to be getting 3 points. You'll be minusing 3 points for any pieces in your overflow. And, of course, most points wins the game. Alright, that is roughly how you play River Valley Glassworks from Allplay. Time to turn into and see how it goes. We are, of course, going to start off with Inside the Box. Again, that link to the unboxing is below, and I'll include it up here in case you need to just click on that instead of wanting to go down below. So I will start off with saying we do have the deluxe edition, so some of our pieces are deluxeified, such as we have the playmat, acrylic tiles, and so forth. With all that being said, let's kind of start with a couple of things I had the issues with. The bag where you pull the glass pieces out of is bordering on too big of a bag. I like having a big hole to reach into because I do have a bigger hand, so some of the smaller openings. But with that being said, the width of the bag and the height of the bag, it does just seem pretty massive, which kind of leads into what my one other issue is that it's hard to get everything back in the box. So with how big that bag is and everything, trying to get it to lay out and all that, does make that a little bit challenging. But if you're a person who likes to have the big bags, or need the big bags, just know you will not have a problem getting your hand inside of that bag. The other thing is that the little meeple guys that track how many pieces you have around your board, they don't seem to stay in overly well. Putting them in there, they do kind of knock over easily. I mean, it is quick and simple to figure out where they need to go. You just count your pieces. But that is just something that doesn't quite stick in as well. Not sure if this is an issue with our copy or not, but it is just something that I did notice. And you'll notice that I keep kind of knocking it over when I'm doing the how to play. The glass pieces, I keep doing air quotes for glass because they do actually have pieces that are made of actual glass. We do not have those. We have the acrylic ones or the plastic ones, what have you, but they represent pieces of glass, hence the air quotes around glass. It's not like a subtle dig at them because those pieces are really nice and really beautiful. They feel really nice. There is no issue like when you reach in the bag grabbing pieces. Like if you really want to feel them, you can, but we didn't ever notice the fact that they are different shapes being a concern. One of the things that is a little annoying per se is that the black pieces look awesome. You only play with those when you play with 5 players, so we have this whole bag of these awesome looking black pieces that we don't use in the game. So we'll probably have to take those out and use them in something else with how cool they look. The river tiles work well. Like I said, we do have the acrylic ones, so they do have a little bit more of a blinged out feel, but they work well. They slide really nice on that playmat. The artwork is really beautiful. That was one of the things that did draw us in, is we are fans of Andrew Bosley's art. So we find the art really kind of encompassed the game and really conveyed that theme extremely well. And then, as I had said, it was, though, kind of hard to fit everything in the box. That if you did watch that unboxing, you'll see it's like it is in there super tight with absolutely no wiggle room, and you have to make sure you get everything in there just so, otherwise it is not fitting in. For the 2-player experience, there are no alternate rules. There is nothing different. Like I said, you add the black pieces in when you're playing with 5 players, but for 2 players, you don't take any pieces out, you don't remove any colors, nothing to that effect. Then, as is the case with 2 players and these types of games, the tiles themselves don't rotate out that much. You're not getting as many extra pieces getting put on the tiles because only one other person is going before you. This is one of those things that could be good, could be bad. You know, it's bad, you're not getting those extra pieces on there, but that also would make the game come to an end quicker because people are grabbing pieces quicker. But the good thing is that you do have then a bit more agency over, like, which tiles are going to be where, and you know like these tiles aren't going to move as much by your next turn. So it actually could add even a more strategic element to it, knowing, you know, this piece is going to end up next to one of these two pieces, or this is next to one of these two, so I know what piece I'm going to want to play next. So there is a strategic element that can get brought in when you do have less players, and knowing that board is not going to change as much by the next time you see it, or even noticing, you know, your opponent's going to have to grab the river, so you know that you can just set up your next move perfectly, whereas if you had more players, you don't have as high of a likelihood of every person refreshing their tiles at the same time. As far as gameplay, this is quick to explain. The rules are easy to grasp. It's literally match a shape, take either side, put it to the back, refill it. You can use two pieces as a wild. Done. I've taught you the game. I will say almost everything runs smooth. We did constantly forget to keep moving our little tracker for the pieces. It is one of those things, I'm not going to call it fiddly because it makes sense to keep track so you don't have to keep recounting them, but it's just one of those things that just, it felt awkward to us to keep moving it, so it is something we keep forgetting. Also, we're looking like, oh, wait, hang on a second, I ended the game, or wait, I have two pieces left to go because I forgot to move my tracker. Also, the scoring, some people might find it tricky. I know Bri found an issue with the way specifically the rows scored, being a little hard for her to grasp with the whole gaps thing and when it stops, and that, you know, it starts at the front. It's not just how many pieces in a row. So I do know that that can seem a little trickier, like I said, for some people, that might be one of the rules that they kind of get a little like caught up on. But overall, this was a fun, fast, enjoyable game. If you're worried about the whole replayability, I know ours came with a box of modules, and I believe you can get it separately. That adds stuff like, you know, certain end of game scoring where you're wanting certain shapes, or you're not wanting certain shapes, or player powers, or I believe, because I want to say there's like something like 6 modules, and you can add 0 to 2 of them to each game. So you really could start tweaking and adding some complexity to the game and changing up the way that the games play by adding in these different modules. And also, I know this one has gotten a lot of comparisons to Azul. We are not fans of Azul, somewhat because of like it just kind of sometimes feels punishing with definitely having to take tiles that are giving you negative points. And this one alleviates that by it is fairly difficult to get the ones that give you negative points unless I want to see you actually try to it. But more often than not, you are going to have choices that won't give you the negative tiles. Are they going to be optimal plays? No, but you aren't going to feel like you have to take the negative points or you're getting forced into it. And that it adds that whole refilling your pan is almost like a pass, and you can do it. You know, you don't have to empty your pan in order to do that. You're taking 4, so you could do it when you just have one piece left to kind of manipulate that kind of turn structure and the way that everything's going back and forth. So, taking that all into account, I'm going to say it go good. I am going to give this a 7 out of 10. It is definitely one that we are usually willing to play. It is one that we haven't yet introduced the youth to, but we know that they will enjoy it. So it is one that we're just waiting for our next family game night to introduce them to, because we feel this is one that's going to kind of bridge that gap. I don't want to necessarily say gateway game. Maybe like I think welcoming game is another term that they've been doing. It is one that feels like you can bust it out for almost anyone, and they're going to grasp it and understand everything. Like I said, except possibly that scoring might seem a little weirder for people who are not in tune somewhat with board games. But as long as one person is and can handle the scoring, I don't foresee any issue with it. So again, that is how I think River Valley Glassworks go. Now, if I could please get you to go down below and hit like, subscribe, share, ring the bell, and then comment about who your favorite character is in River Valley Glassworks if you yourself have played it. If not, tell me what color glass you like the best. 2 options to comment down below. So, until next time, get out there panning for glass.